Hello, I'm Lana. I have chosen on this module to direct a small excerpt from Daniel Wallace's Big Fish, the movie adaptation, a bit of the script from the very beginning, and a tiny bit of dialogue from the end, sort of mashed them together. Um, I've chosen this piece because I find it really personally significant in the fact that I love every genre of art. I paint, I write, I do theatre, obviously, and uh, I really enjoy the aspect of storytelling within the world of Big Fish, and particularly the aesthetics of it, how the aesthetics of storytelling can impact them so much, and what is real and what is not, what is whimsy, what is natural. I love that balance, and I hope to communicate that in my directing style. As storytelling is such an important theme within this story, there will be a lot of whimsy elements, and as I say, a lot of strong aesthetic choices that will be perhaps not so natural. So I'd really like to work on character interactions being as natural as possible. I'd like to work with my actors on just their communication. At the core of it, it's a bond between a father and son, and I'd love for there to be a really strong, rooted, grounded understanding between them about their past and their history and how they're coming in to this sort of short scene, this short piece. Of course, within this, there will be a blending of genres because of the more whimsical set elements, I'm thinking. Uh, More sort of on the side of fairy tale, bedtime story, more childlike interactions with the world. So I'd like that more gritty and realistic separation of the characters' interactions with each other to not be some sort of concrete wall that divides the two worlds of aesthetic and character. I'd like instead for them to sort of interweave with each other and move in and out. And I think something I'll really have to work on in that sense is divides between scenes and making them not feel blocky or choppy, making sure there's very smooth, concise transitions between every element of the story that's being told to make it feel like it is a father telling a bedtime story to his son. There is something warm and natural and real about it, while the elements of what he is telling him are fantastical. I feel like in projects I've done in the past, I tend to box myself into more psychological, internal pieces that focus solely on these individual characters and their very introspective outlooks on life. And I'd like to really branch out and make this as big as possible, trying to reach as many people as possible, as it really is about storytelling. And I'd also really like to work on my time management, not only in getting people organized and in and getting rehearsals done on time, in good time, but also in terms of how I construct the piece itself. I often try to keep building and building and building, and it becomes a bit too convoluted and things get messy just because I want to include more rather than including what is necessary. So I'd like to condense. I'd also like to take some influence here from Chapter 5 of Christopher Innes and Maria Shevstova's 2013 The Cambridge Introduction to Theatre Directing, where they talk about combining practices to break rigidity, the idea that you can have two completely opposing genres working together, which breaks this cycle of monotony and falling into more Stanislavskian ideas. They talked about how they used Artaud's theatre of cruelty methods and ideas in training exercises for RSC actors designed to demolish the Stanislavskian ethic through exploring routes of physical expression. I'd love to be able to do that through building both psychological and physical journeys for the characters together at once. Another thing that I think I'll use after working with the two lead actors in the process of world building on the stage. In Katie Mitchell's 2009 The Director's Craft, she mentions this sort of building a world before the action begins, and that settling the actors into a space, and it allows them to explore things more naturally. And this is what I'd really, really like to start with as a foundation with the actors who play the father and son. I want to build that relationship between them before going into the action, so that it's much easier to flip between these two whimsy and naturalistic genres. In Robert Wilson's work, he talks about the plasticity of time and how it can be stretched and expanded and compressed on stage. And I'd love to take that thought track into my work because of the age differences between my characters and the way that they experience the world entirely differently as a result of that. Playing with their age and playing with time on stage could also look really aesthetically interesting in terms of isolating moments and movements through different compressions of time.